The Renault 5 has received so much attention. Now this is here the bigger brother, the Renault 4. So although it's a number lower, it's the bigger vehicle and it's even offered as a somewhat convertible. We're going to find out how good is it. Let's tune into this review here with Thomas and Autogefühl in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go. And the Renault 4 has this glass front here, so it's basically hidden underneath this glass layer. Looks pretty cool. Illuminated Renault logo and the daytime running light in this round scheme has some kind of retro look because it's also having this very long heritage of the past R4 model. And when you hit the turning indicators, it replaces also then here this daytime running light. They name it E-Tech Electric here, but I think it's not really necessary because there's only the electric R4 now, so we can also just say Renault R4 and that's it. The color here, by the way, is Haute de France green. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's really a strong green color, and I heard there were some discussions earlier if it's more like a green or a bluish note. Yeah, and I also tried to wear something, you know, blue, greenish, something in the mix to that. The length here is 4 meters 14 or 163 inches. That's 22 centimeters or 9 inches longer than the Renault 5, the smaller brother. Thought to be like the R5 city EV only, but this one here, yes, city EV, but already with something more. I can tell you already so far there will be substantial legroom also in the rear, and you already see here this fabric roof from the exterior. Soon going to open that for you. And this will be an option, you don't have to go for it, but of course it's a very cool thing when you can also drive open top then in the city. The wheels here, in this case here, the top trim 18-inch, so then large but also smaller ones are available, and also just like the steel ones with the cap, so it also depends on the price. At the end of the review I also give you some price estimations as for that. As for the battery sizes, you get the same batteries as for the, like in the Renault R5. So either 40 kilowatt hours or 52 kilowatt hours. The big difference is, however, that even the small battery will receive DC charging, which is not available for the R5. They have a 15 to 80 state of charge figure here in about 30 minutes when you have the 100 kilowatt peak for DC charging. Yeah, it's not too much, not too quick, but the batteries are also not too large. And as for the range and consumption with the R5, we had about 14 kilowatt hours on 100 kilometer on our test drive as for the consumption, with a lot of city share, which is then again realistic both for the R5 and the R4. And this means this will get some 300 to 400 kilometers, yeah, so 200 plus miles of real world range. However, if you go faster on the Autobahn, on the motorway, then also the range will be lower. That's also for sure. It's interesting that here we have this more, like box styling. Yeah, almost like an R5 longer wheelbase version. And they also sit on the very same platform and share all technology. Towards the rear, we also have these nice tail lamps here, a little bit segmented. So they play a lot with design. That's also why the R5 has been working very well. You've maybe seen also even the views on our channel that small EVs have a hard stance at the moment. So it's a problem to sell small EVs, hard to get it profitable for the manufacturer, but also the interest from the viewers, from the buyers. Hardly anyone is buying small EVs yet, but the Renault 5 went through the roof because it got so much sympathy, even for people who didn't, we cheer for EVs yet or so on, and maybe this will also happen then to the Renault 4 here. Looking forward to that. Soon also more about the trunk. Here you also see this segmented design. It almost looks like carbon fiber, but it's not carbon fiber. They only have these stripes in here. So overall, very playful in the design, and I can say already right now it will continue playful in the interior. On the technology side, what else is interesting? They have a multi-link rear axle, so this is also of course good then for comfort if you have a more elaborated rear axle, which we otherwise see with larger cars. Let's check it out. Is there a frunk or not? No, there's none. This, by the way, is just a battery charger here for the studio, so this won't be standard equipment, but you see here, no frunk. Still some insulation here, and I can already tell you something about the acceleration figure. So it's 8.5 seconds for the 150 horsepower version and 9.2 seconds in the acceleration for the 120 horsepower version. The very, very small horsepower version below that does not exist, only exists for the R5. So here, you know, a little bit bigger vehicle, a little bit more higher figures and so on. And they leave out, like, let's say, like the base versions that would be available for the R5. But that's, I think, also a fine as for decision. And top speed here is 150 kilometers an hour. So yeah, from the German perspective and Autobahn, some Germans tend to go a little bit fast on the German Autobahn. Not sure who. In the front, the turning indicators are pretty cool and also very visible. But here in the rear, I mean, they look stylish and also like a battery status indicator here in the middle. But it's kind of tiny to be visible for, you know, all other participants in traffic, or isn't it? And now to me, the most important feature of this vehicle here, go for it, definitely go for it. So, and you can see it opens really wide. Look at that. Wow. I mean, this is all over the vehicle here. So, I mean, it's wide and also long. So, yeah, especially the rear passengers will have a lot of joy with that. When we come to the interior, yeah, it's time for the Renault keycard. And I think for a modern EV, I mean, some love that, you know. It's slim, it fits the pocket very well. But I think for like a new generation of vehicles, maybe they could have thought of something new. Yeah, what do you think about it? And then the door closing sound. It's actually quite solid. Yeah, in the rear maybe not so, but in the front I think that's fine. Then let's take a look here. Front doors, hard pack on the top part, somewhat structured however, and then here this retro fabric on the inside. Hard pack, no cover from the inside, also really shallow. At least we have some small galvanization here on top of the window levers and plastic control here too. Steering wheel, modern design, flat bottom, multi-sense, this driving mode and ambient lighting control at the same time. Real buttons at the steering wheel, and the material here is a high-grade leatherette already at the steering wheel, and the same counts also for the seats. This is the iconic trim, like top trim, which has this black leatherette in this retro scheme here also with the stitching and the pattern. Maybe it reminds a little bit maybe of furniture or luggage design as well, and mix with fabric, also in the retro styling. There are also fabric seats available in different trims, for example, also like this denim fabric we also know from the Renault R5. So yeah, depending on what you prefer, this one can be wiped easier in these areas. The fabric is maybe more breathable than in here. We have this mix, but it's really comfortable, plush, and the seating depth here is also fine, also for the ischial tuberosity, like the sit bone. And then the height here, I'm 189, 6'2". And this still leaves some headroom. I have the roof opened here. That's bright enough for you, but I can maybe also just quickly show you again how about the headroom when it's closed. That might make sense. During that, the steering wheel up and down, in and out. There we go. So you can also find a good space at the tall person. So here, when it's closed now, yeah, to the inside there's even more headroom. It's also like this fabric underneath. Just to the outside, it's a little bit less headroom then. So I'll open it again for the light. And you can always see it from here. This is all about the stalks. So whereas we have like the Tesla discussion that there's one stalk, yes, with the Model Y facelift now, or maybe none with the Model 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 stalks behind the steering wheel. Yeah, the typical like volume stalk for, like when you're a used Renault customer, turning indicators, then the wipers and the switchgear. Looks a little bit overloaded in a way, yeah, but then again, we are also happy to have physical controls, definitely. And now here in the cockpit perspective, you can see more of that here of the stalks. So this here then for the switchgear, and the design is supposed to be like an open lipstick case. Would you have seen that? I only saw that after I've read it, actually. But now that you see it, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, then you also have here these pedals for the recuperation, and we will soon also drive this one. And this one here is the first Renault EV supposed to have a real one-pedal driving option, that it really comes to a stop. And yeah, we can probably confirm that then when we drive it. Really nice is here this shelf element. So it's also covered in high-grade leatherette. Small French flag, the tricolore. So this is pretty cool and gives like a premium atmosphere. Also here with the ambient lighting. So they have really a passion for these small details here. Also, for example, the structured top dashboard. It's hard, but it feels nicely and it also looks good. Harman Kardon sound system is also available here. Let's see some of the details. Oh, yeah, even the glove box here is properly dampened, so that's nice. A very smooth process, like that. Lots of hardback here in the middle console. At some point, of course, they don't want to exaggerate the price. Let's take it that way. You have an electric parking brake with an automatic function here in the middle. Then you have two USB-C chargers. There is also an inductive charging pad that is not ventilated. However, you can remove this one here for cleaning. Then the cup holders are not adaptive, but they have the split here. And the armrest is, yeah, it's okay from the build quality. This is a lot of hard pack black plastic as well. Not too much space there, but at least some. And what I found pretty cool is that you really have like a lot of haptical real interface still, not only at the steering wheel. Yeah, here this is for the volume here, for example, but here for the climate unit. Warmer, colder, fan speed. This is all easily done. Straightforward user interface, and at the same time I have stuff I can use on the digital side. So first of all, also here for volume is another real button on the top, and also for shut off and so on. But as you know, all the new Renault vehicles, they have also a new modern infotainment system which has the inbuilt Google Maps, and we'll also take a look at that one very soon. Driver POV here, once again with the real buttons at the steering wheel. Yeah, this is a mix, you know, like this is like one button, then capacitive BS control of which field it is, but here this is then the real one. Same goes for the right side, where you can also switch through stuff in the digital instruments. And with this multi-sense button, you can also switch through different driving modes. There I gotta say, when you switch them, we also saw it with the R5, sometimes it takes a while, and here you can all see it also changes the color. And the main infotainment system, the good thing is that I can control the climate from below when it's on. There we go, here, so it's easy, I don't have to do it in the screen actually. And then here the inbuilt Google Maps, super quick, responsive, all we need, and they have kept it relatively simple. You can connect Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, so you both have the inbuilt Google Maps and Apple CarPlay connection, and then you have some car functions here, but everything kept simple, and that's all we need. And charge planning is possible with the Google Maps. Automatically here, for example, 3 charging stops from Cologne to Berlin. Yeah, that's the thing. It's nothing for like long journeys, but it's good that you do have the automated charging planning. Rear seats now. First of all, materials here, hard pack, but there is like a structure here, so that looks a little bit better. Then a fabric is also this retro fabric here, hard pack in the lower part. Since this vehicle will also be used probably frequently with kids. Let's take a look here. There's a top tether here for the front seat. And there's even ISOFIX already on the front seat as well. So this one option, then ISOFIX outside each on the rear seats. And you can fold up these here and close them again. So it's a clean solution. Then the same high-grade leatherette here on the rear seats. And this middle part here cannot be folded down, but you can actually sit here. So it is officially proof for 5 people, but does it work space-wise? So first of all here, we have the open roof that you can actually see something, so it's pretty cool, and yeah, nice to enjoy it here as the rear passenger. And this is no problem, but when I move a little bit to the side, then my head hits the ceiling with 189/62, but usually you would not sit that much to the left, so you probably see here, but yeah, but when there's a bump maybe, but it still works that way under the roof. And legroom, see here when I like stretch my legs here a little bit, or spread them a little bit, this also works barely, but you have to think about, this is just 4 meters 14 or 163 inches in length, so it's a really short vehicle, and considering the short length, this is a good amount of legroom. We have this legroom sometimes in vehicles that are maybe like 30 centimeters longer or something like that. So you can still sit here with tall adults. It's also soft here at the back part of the seat. See here also this leatherette wrap. You can put stuff in here. It's like for a smartphone. Then there's a middle console with 2 USB-C chargers here at the back. And let's see, what about the rear, the middle seat? Yeah, I mean, it's a problem with the legs rather. When you just sit in the middle seat, it works, but this would be disturbing to the people outside. Headroom-wise would work. Yeah, I would rather say 4 toy adults and the middle part and for emergency situations. Full seatbelt here, however, but definitely well usable, and this is the big difference then to the Renault R5 here, that the R4 just has this rear compartment, also real usable. Now to the trunk or the boot, which is here at 420 liters, and it's really long in the lower part here, so I have to be careful. So 420 liters, that's about 100 liters more than with the R5 actually. And let's take a look here. The cabin trolley easily fits in all different dimensions. It's about 1 meter or 40 inches in width, and the length here is about 85 centimeters or 34 inches. So this is about 70, yeah, almost 80 centimeters and 31 inches. To fold the seats, you better go around from here. Press that in. It's a 2/3, 1/3 split. You can see it right here. And then you have this step right there. And the length then to the seats as we would be driving is about 150 in meters or 59 inches. In the lower part here, you can fold this up. Sound system, and here some storage. Then, for example, this is also interesting. So this vehicle has a vehicle to load, V2L function. So you can put this in the charging connector here, and then you can put a personal device there, maybe like a hairdryer, or when you go like a stand-up paddling, you can use the air inflator for that. So it's a really handy thing to do on your way. However, you can see charging cable storage wise, no frunk, not a big storage underneath. So the charging cable will fly around somewhere here, unless you say, hey, I only charge it at the wall box at home anyways. I don't really need that. By the way, a nice Easter egg is here. I'm making show it to you when I make it a little bit brighter with my skin. So here at the inside of the rear window, there we have the vintage R4, like this silhouette. So what I find best with this vehicle is, well, first of all, that you can open the roof, that you can get an option as for that, and have something like a convertible there, and also that you have some legroom available, and this will make this vehicle much more usable than the R5. The R5 is, so to speak, more iconic because it's just like this, small, cuddly vehicle and so on. But this one here, you can do so much more with that actually. Then again, the thing is, the battery is not too large, so it will still have a city EV focus. And that's something I often criticize, that when you have rather smaller batteries, you cannot use the vehicles for longer journeys, and then maybe you have like 2 vehicles. But as a secondary vehicle or as a primary city vehicle, I think it does a very good job. Pricing, we expect it to be like about 2,500 euros more expensive than the R5. And that would be in a spectrum of like 27,500 to maximum 40,000 euros as it stands here right now, with big battery, roof, everything maxed out. And this very, very interesting. It's also built in France actually. So this is also one of their focuses, to make it more locally built and sourced and then spread out to the European market. What do you think about the R4? Tell me in the comments, and now tune into our recent Renault R5 review.